from Fringe Finance. Today I'll show you how to use my free Budget Tracker Spreadsheet. This is a monthly budget template for Excel that allows you to create a budget and track your spending, so you always know how much money you have left in each budget category as you go through the month. The spreadsheet works with zero-based budgeting, which means we'll give every dollar a job to do until your amount left to spend equals zero. If you don't have the spreadsheet yet, you can click on the link in the video description to download it now, and then you can follow along with me. The spreadsheet has 3 tabs. The first one just contains some brief written instructions. The second tab is where we'll go to input our income for the month. You won't enter your income until you earn it, but if you're starting with money in your checking account, you'll also enter it here as your starting balance. So for our tutorial, I'm starting with $2,250 in my account. I'll come back to this tab every time I receive income during the month and add it to the list. But for now, I'll go ahead and add my starting balance. And now I'll go to the third tab, the Expenses tab. Here I can see that I have $2,250 remaining to budget. Now I'll go through the categories and budget this money for whatever needs to be paid before I get another paycheck. I'll start here with my mortgage and enter $650 for my mortgage payment, which leaves me with $1,600 remaining to budget. Now I'll go through and budget the rest of the money for the next 2 weeks. I'm basing this on a 2-week pay period because that's how frequently I'm paid, but you can base it on how frequently you're paid, whether that's weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, or whatever. If you need to create a new budget category that's not on the list, you can easily add one yourself. Just click on any row, and then at the top, click Insert Sheet Rows. Now you have a blank category row, and you can give your category a name, enter in an amount you'd like to budget, and if you notice over here, under our total spent and remaining columns, there's no formula. So we'll have to copy the formula from 2 cells above or below and then paste into our new cells. And this will copy the formula over. You may get one of these little green triangles that tells you you have an error. You can just ignore this. You can do the same thing if you want to delete a category. Maybe you don't have a pet, so you want to delete the pet expenses category. Just select the row, right click, and click delete, and that will delete the entire row. Now we finished budgeting everything we need until our next paycheck, but we still have $220.33 remaining to budget. So I'm going to add this to my emergency fund. You could also add this make an additional debt payment, or if you have another savings goal, like maybe you're saving to buy a new car. We just want to get our remaining to budget to 0, which we have done. Woohoo! Now we're going to track our spending. Some categories will only have a single expenditure, like the mortgage. You only make 1 mortgage payment per month, or maybe you make 2, but most people only make 1. When we pay it, we'll enter it into our first expenditure cell. Now you can see that we've spent $650 and we have $0 remaining to spend in that category. Other categories like groceries will probably have a lot more expenditures through the month. So let's say we go grocery shopping the first week and we spend $95.25. Now we have $104.75 remaining to spend. So the next week we'll go back to the grocery store and we'll spend $98.66. Now we have $6.09 remaining to spend. Now I'll go through and pay the bills and enter expenditures for the next 2 weeks. When I get to the savings category, I won't enter the expenditure in until I've transferred the money into my savings account. So it's no longer in my checking account and I have effectively paid myself by putting it into savings. So I'm going to transfer the money into my checking account and enter the expenditure here. As you can see, I've spent less than I budgeted in some of my categories and a little bit more in one category. When this happens, you can adjust your budgeted amounts. So I spent $2.10 over budget in the toiletries category. I'm going to select the budgeted amount and add $2.10 to it so that it balances out. So I'll make this $22.10. But now I have another problem because my overall remaining to budget is $2.10 overdrawn. I'll have to take the $2.10 out of one of the other categories. So I underspent on groceries, so I'll subtract the $2.10 from that category. And now my remaining to budget overall is 0 again. We still have a few categories where we've underspent, and you can leave this extra money in these categories to roll over to the next period, or you can subtract it and add it to a savings goal or make an extra debt payment, just depending on what your goals are. I'm going to take this remaining $12.17 and add it to my emergency fund. To do that, I'll enter the total spent into the budgeted amount. For example, in groceries we spent $193.91, so I'm going to enter that here, and then the remaining $3.99 will be returned to our remaining to budget. So I'll go through and do that for all my categories. And now the $12.17 is back in our remaining to budget. So I'm going to add that to my emergency fund. So I'll pull up my calculator. $220.33 plus $12.17 is $232.50. Now I'll go ahead and make a second payment to my emergency fund by transferring the $12.17 into my savings account. This is what we want to see at the end of the pay period. I like to try to get everything down to 0 either the day before or the day that I get paid again. So as you can see, our remaining to budget is 0, our remaining to spend is 0, and all of our category balances in the remaining column are 0. Now we'll go back to the Income tab and enter in our next paycheck. I got paid today, so this is paycheck number 1, and I received $1,100.49. When I return to the Expenses tab, I can see that the $1,100.49 is now in my remaining to budget. So now I'll just repeat the previous steps to budget my income and track my expenses until I'm paid again. So I'll go through and budget this money for the next 2 weeks. Now, when you get to the monthly expenses, you'll have to do a little addition. You'll have to add however much you want to budget for the next 2 weeks to the previous amount budgeted. So I'm going to add $200 more to my grocery budget, which will give me $393.91. I'll add another $100 to restaurants. I'll add another $35 to transportation. And you can check your balances over here in your remaining category to make sure that your calculations are correct. And I did not add $35 to my transportation. I added $34.70, so I need to change that. There we go, now it's correct. So that's really all there is to it. You repeat this cycle until the end of the month, and then you create a new spreadsheet. I like to keep a new spreadsheet for each month, but you could even do 2 months at a time on a single spreadsheet if you have few enough expenditures, because you do have 8 cells to use. Just go through, add your income, and keep budgeting until everything equals 0. And that's how you do it. So remember, if you'd like to download the spreadsheet for yourself, click on the link in the video description below and you can download it. And if you need more help budgeting better, saving more money, or getting out of debt, you can visit me at fringefinance.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback. I would love to hear from you. Happy budgeting!